It's nice to be on the call again. Here we are on Monday afternoon or morning or evening, wherever you are in the world. I see that we have a good, healthy group of attendees here, which is lovely. And I see that we have people from the Philippines and from China and from North America, I think, well, Canada, probably. We have people in South America. We have people in various African countries that I'm aware of. We have Europeans and we have people all over the show. So that's a fantastic part of our global business. One of the things, I think I mentioned this last week, but I was quite astonished to see that we have sign-ups and we have members in some 202 different countries / territories now. So I guess that we have our full global coverage, really. I think I'm going to ask for a list of the countries that we are no longer signed, where we no longer have people signed up. But I did notice on the list that was presented to me that we have someone in Antarctica and in the Arctic, which was listed as a region. So fine. Where are we as a business today? Well, we are in November. We have had some updates, but of course, we're in that critical week now where we're seeing the proof of concept coming through on Leo causes. And that's a very timely thing because we've just also come back from a United World Schools Gala that was happening in London last week. We're talking about the 2020 vision on this webinar. We're talking about the Baku incentive and the call to action. But where we are as a business is that we are still here and we're still fighting and we've got some very encouraging activity happening all over the world, really. And so all of that is good. Now, what is nice to see as well is that we're starting to get recognition of people going up the ranks. And the first one that we want to recognize in this new wave of new directors coming through is Zhao Dongbo, who's one of our leaders in the Chinese-speaking markets. And he's a chap that we've met on all of the events. He's been on both the Hong Kong cruises. I think he was in Kuala Lumpur as well, and Bali. He was in Cambodia. And he's kind of just one of these people that walk into the room and he's just suddenly sort of presenting a good energy and a positive attitude around him. He's testimony to the leadership ability to stand tall and stand strong when things are tough, because obviously all of your people and all of your teams, they look to you for leadership when we have challenging times, the same way that people look to me for leadership. And it's very important as a leader to sort of stand tall and sort of say, no, I'm not wavering. I've got my feet planted firmly in business fundamentals and we're moving forward. So despite the challenges, you have someone who's got a vision here, and Zhao certainly has that. He is also one of the key people that wants to organize 2020 Vision seminars throughout China next year. So that's quite cool as well. So congratulations to you, to our newest director. Not an insignificant achievement. And it's just nice to see that here's a chap who's building a strong structure and a strong group of leaders that are very positive about our future. Now, he has built an awful lot of his business on the seminars and the trainings and the social activities, and he's got this positive vibe around him. Now, this is all sort of grassroots stuff and duplicatable meetings that people run where they do training and celebrations and social events. What the Leo Coin community needs to do. So fantastic to see, and congratulations to all of you, and congratulations to all of you to have such a leader, as someone to lead and to guide you. And of course, what they are very excited about as a group as well is the social entrepreneurship work that we're doing. And last week we were invited to come to the United World Schools Gala in the centre of London, and we had a table there and some 10 guests all together, including members. We had John Abraham and Ame Barlas there to represent our field, to see sort of the good work that we're doing in terms of building schools. Now, in the context of United Worlds, we are obviously one of their newest relationships, but it's interesting because they have VIP organizations, if you like, and this was a very much a gala event in a very, very exclusive property in London to raise funds and finances and donations and stuff for the work that they're doing. And some of their big corporate sponsors include names, for instance, like Lloyds Bank, And of course, Leo, we're featured on their website, and they came up and they shook our hands. And you could kind of tell that our social entrepreneurship model and the fact that we have sponsored one school in Nepal and we've sponsored another one in Cambodia, that is kind of noteworthy, because we have a tough business environment in the UK with all sorts of madness and things going on with Brexit and politically, if you like, it's certainly an unsettled period in the UK. So for us as a small organization to be sponsoring 2 schools out of the business model that we have created, that was noteworthy enough that people came over and sort of shook our hands and were sort of picking our brains and kind of treating us with, I don't want to exaggerate, but they were treating us as VIPs because we were doing something, and we're adding a decent chunk of children's education to their platform of what they're doing, because obviously the 2 projects that we're doing now, we're pushing on to being affecting 1,000 children there who've got education thanks to the work that our members have done. And I was very, very quick to point out that this is a social entrepreneurship model where the company is fine. We certainly set a direction, what have you, but this is driven by our global members. Our global members from 202 countries or territories around the world are really the people that we want to celebrate and give thanks to. So on behalf of United World Schools, I want to thank all of you on this call for your contributions to make this happen. And of course, when we come and we start to think about the next gala event that they do in say 12 months' time, then we'll be there and we'll have sponsored 10 schools, we'll have sponsored 20 schools, we'll have done something quite noteworthy. And I look forward to telling that story, because I think that this is important work that we're doing, and it sits within our brand space, it sits within our ethos, it sits within us wanting to change the world one brain at a time, starting with the people who can really make the biggest difference, which is young people in underprivileged communities. Some of the children going through the schools that we have now, some of them will become teachers themselves, some of them will become doctors, some of them will become engineers, some of them dream about being pilots, and we will have had a part of that where we've educated and inspired people. The next project that we're looking at is obviously in the Philippines and in China and in African countries. So we have a lot of kind of stakes in the ground all over the place, and very excited to see now what's going to happen with causes, because we have a business model that will really turn the world on its head with what we can do. Now, causes is where we're at, and you understand the basics and the fundamentals of that. And we are now in that week when Courses is now in a free market situation where the price is set by members. People are getting £750 worth of courses, and of course our teams are busy acquiring the courses. What we're seeing on the external platforms and on the trading platforms is that our members are wildly optimistic about the price and refusing to sell it for less than, I think that the starting price point is kind of £3 or £5 on some of the things that we're doing. We've seen some crazy trades going at sort of the £100, £200 level for one cause. But we also think that is just members selling to each other to drive some sort of hype. It's a bit silly, really, but it's quite good fun to see. What is also true is that there are buy orders in the market where people who may or may not have any courses are saying what they want to purchase courses for. And it's small, it's very embryonic, it's very early days, but we're seeing sort of a healthy level of interest there on livecoin.org. And I'm sure that Mihi will talk about that a little bit later on. But now we have made the supply of this finite. We have our logistical process in place. We have this, you purchase in this week, that's your purchase week. Then we have the administration and acquiring the courses for you. And in the third week, you get your courses awarded. So this logistical thing now, our members in different markets have got their head around this. They understand how that works. And so fundamentally, just to give you an example, if you purchase a top up on the 1st of November, your courses will be delivered on the 13th of November, which is this coming Wednesday. If you purchase on the 5th of November, a few days later, you're still in that first startup week, so you still get your courses on the 13th of November. We're looking forward to Wednesday this week because we're now sort of starting to get a feel for where the market is and starting to get a feel for what the courses are costing us to acquire. And things can happen because we still have up until Wednesday to trade. But it's looking like the causes will be at around about the £1.50 level, which means that people have had an uplift there of 50%. If that comes true, it might be a little bit more, it might be a little bit less, but that is kind of just all I need to reassure myself that this is actually really working. Now, again, if you buy the courses on the 14th of November, on Thursday this coming week, you'll get your courses then on the 27th of November. So this is the week when pretty much can guarantee that this will be one of the most competitive weeks that you can acquire courses for, because the price can only go one way, because it is such a limited supply model. As we shared with you last week, the theoretical maximum for courses was 1 million courses, and through the rank awards and through the top-up packs, 659,978 were pushed into the market, and that means that 340,022 courses were burnt or locked off in a publicly visible wallet. So you can see that in the interest and transparency, that none of this is secret stuff, so you can sort of go there and reassure yourself that these are the amount of courses that exist. And if we want to acquire courses for the top-up packs and for the rank awards that are coming through now, we have to get them from members, and members then set the price. So that's very, very cool. And this limited supply model is teaching us lots and lots of things. And some of the thoughts that are coming to us and some of the suggestions coming to us from the field and from the field leaders is, why don't you do the same with Leo Coin and create a really limited supply model? And I think that there is seeds for Leo Coin 4 that will come very, very, very quickly, because there's something there, which I've said to you for the last sort of 4, 5, 6 weeks. There's something that Causes is teaching us, which shows us some of the mistakes or some of the errors that we made when we launched Leo Coin. And if we'd known then what we know now, we would have gone a different road. But interestingly, with a supporting community behind us, we can go and actually rectify that and kind of relaunch Leo Coin 4. Still honouring everyone's commitments and all of you who are Leo Coin holders. I think that you'll support and agree with some of the ideas that we have, but that's not what this call is about. Now, I have Mihir Magudia online as well, and he's going to come in here and just give you some of the information and some of the education on what's available now for you to verify in a transparent way what's going on with Causes, starting with the blockchain analysis, and I'll let him tell his own story.
Thank you very much, Dan. And it's a delight, as always, to be here on the call with you. So, as you know, there's about 650,000 courses that are going to be out there in the world, that are tradable, that are held by members, that can be used. The rest of the 1 million that we started with are all locked off in this public wallet, which you can see right in front of you. And we showed this last week, but I think last week we were sharing so much information, maybe it's always helpful just to go over these things one more time, just so you all understand it. These remaining coins that are locked off, you can see them, they'll be there, they're not going anywhere. And so it's all clear on the blockchain, all open for anyone in the world to check and see. Because hopefully you've all kind of understood the theme behind Causes, which is about the supply being held by you, the members, and the demand being driven by rank awards, by top-up, by excitement, by demand for the coin. It's very, very simple, and it could not operate in a more clear way. So we've already noticed, and we've already seen on the back office, people are selling their Causes, some for thousands of pounds, some for more realistic figures, and we've been buying at the rate we think we can get. We've been buying at the rate to meet the demand that's being generated by all of you building the community, because that's how you help. You support Causes by building the community. We support Causes by buying the coins that we need to meet the demand that we get. So fine. It's a very, very simple process on the back office. You just go into your back office. There's ledgers and columns on the left-hand side. You find the one that says Causes Platform or Causes Exchange or something. And you go on there, you obviously do the two-factor authentication, you KYC, and you're in. And then you write the number of causes you want to sell, and you set the price you hope to sell them for. Now, some of you set wildly ambitious prices, and I'm looking down the list of names here. You know who you are. I know who you are too, because I can see who's setting what. But that's fine, and I'm sure your confidence and optimism will be rewarded in due course. Some people set very, very realistic prices, and we snap those up as quickly as we can. So that's all good news. You can also see the causes you hold on another ledger in the back office there, which is, I think, called your causes ledger, I think it's called, on the left-hand column. And that shows what's tradable. That's where you attach your wallet. That shows what's escrowed and all the rest of it. And that's where you kind of manage your holdings. You manage your causes where you like. And for those of you who have withdrawn, we've had a number of withdrawal requests in. They're being processed as I speak. We had some of them have already been processed. We're seeing people sell and put orders up there, certainly from the very early birds and the very early adopters of the top-up. Those early adopters are on Livecoin right now, actually, trading a little bit and having fun with some prices. Now, what we see here is a classic issue of tiny, tiny supply and relatively large demand compared to the supply you've got. And what that means is people are selling and trading their causes on Livecoin for £100, £200, £150, trying to. And these are very, very small volumes. And these are people, I think, playing around a little bit. So under no circumstances are we out there saying that the price of a single causes coin is £140. That's not the case. That's not accurate. That's not what we're saying and what we will be pitching in any way. But nonetheless, you can see what happens when supply is very, very limited and there's just enough demand to get things going. This is the sort of world that you can create very, very quickly. So, here we are. It turns out that people on the chat are talking about how they've bought and sold Livecoin. I won't out you on the bought and sold causes. I won't out you just yet, but again, you know who you are. So yeah, fine. There's people on this call who have been buying causes on Livecoin, and it's great to see that some of that trading has started to move. So on the left-hand side there, on the pink side, you see what people are trying to sell for. And some of those prices are very, very strong and in some cases wild. On the right-hand side, you see the blue column. And again, volumes are small here. And the blue column is the prices that people are currently willing to pay. So these are buy orders that someone has said. They've loaded up their Bitcoin onto Livecoin. They've written in the number of causes they want. They've written in the price that they're willing to pay. And they've set that off. So anyone in the world who had some causes could click there and sell it. And obviously, there's only a small amount of causes there available for buy. But let's look at some really important figures on there. On the blue column, look at the very bottom two numbers where it says 106 CSE and it says 0.1 BTC. What that is adding up all of the causes that someone's willing to buy. I think I took this picture this morning, right now. So there are 106 causes that someone's trying to buy. And it's adding up the total price of all of those buy orders together, which is about 0.1 Bitcoin. Now, 0.1 Bitcoin is about, 650, 700 pounds. So that means if you had 106 causes right now, you could sell them all for 650 to 700 pounds right now. And that's quite good. Given that you got 750 in the original top-ups, being able to sell just 106 of them for 0.1 Bitcoin is a fairly good start on what is such an early project, what has only just launched in the last couple of months. And so we're very, very pleased to see that. And we anticipate as more demand is generated, as more people start to understand the power of this project, as more trading is done, as more withdrawals happen, we'll start to see a much more lively market, a much stronger, a much deeper market where we don't have such a big disparity amongst the people selling and buying. But nonetheless, very, very hopeful and exciting signs to see. And as Dan said, judging from the internal market sales that we've taken this week, far more than the external market, obviously, we're looking at around sort of £1.50 plus or minus a bit delivering the causes this Wednesday.
But then anything could happen in the next 2 days.
And anything could, of course, happen in the next 2 days. So who knows what final price will settle on. But you'll find out on Wednesday morning as the servers reset. They should start to appear then. Anything can happen in the next 2 days. And that's and the people who received this Wednesday bought last week. The people who bought this week will receive it next Wednesday. So, I mean, the message is fairly obvious. If you want them as soon as possible, then there's only one thing you ought to be doing. And with that, I'll hand it back to Dan.
Thank you very much. It is very, very cool. It's kind of interesting to see that the recognition program of Leo will obviously drive into this as well, because we have a new director who's just gone and hit that rank. He has a rank award, which he could, or no doubt will want to purchase courses with them, because that's one of the ownership models that we have here in Leo, that he can use his rank award for any programs that are supported in this market. And that means that there's a new director who wants to acquire courses. Where is he going to get the courses from? He's going to get them from the courses stakeholders. And so as our business goes forward now into momentum, there'll be more and more demand generated by our normal Leo business model, which then is going into this overall business model for courses and the social entrepreneurship side of that. So very, very cool days. Now, a lot of things going on in terms of us re-engineering our business model as well, because we're recognizing that as we're going into 2020 now, the world is moving faster and faster and faster. And for us to stay at the same place and move forward, we have to move faster than the world. So we have some very big ideas that we want to share with our leaders and with our members, and some of them have come out of working together with members. I have to give a special credit to lots of people there, but we're getting feedback and market intelligence from the people who are at the coalface of our market and coming through with some very exciting programs there that we have to share with you on a series of seminars that we're going to be doing in Q1 2020. And this is not the exclusive list. There'll be some other events, and there'll be some webinars, and there'll be a whole communication explosion coming through as we go into the start of 2020. And it starts with China, India, Egypt, and then Baku, which is very, very exciting as well. Because in Qingdao in China, we want to be doing our first vision convention over there for the Chinese-speaking markets, where we will do a charity event talking about the blockchain issues and some of the new entrepreneurship drives that we're creating, especially around the social entrepreneurship. And that will be quite cool, because China is an old friend of ours and it's one of the strongest markets in the world, matched only maybe by India, where we're also going in February to be launching the 2020 vision for our business and really relaunching the entire subcontinent market, really. I have people speaking to me now about business that they want to start up in India, in Bangladesh, in many Asia-Pacific markets, and just interesting times. We go on from there and go back to our roots, because we launched our company on 20th of December 2012. On the 20th of February 2020, 2020, we're going to Egypt to do a seminar and a vision convention over there as well. So very excited by that. And then, of course, we want to start to sort of branch out into some countries along the Silk Road, and Azerbaijan and Baku, as you can see from these images, is a world where the old world and the new world are sort of meeting, and a very attractive destination for many of our members, and kind of a bit the center of the world, really. So this will happen in March, and to that end, we've launched a small incentive just to sort of help you get focus on this, where we give you 2 nights accommodation and meals, entry to the seminar and the rally, and a travel bonus to boot. You have to do a fair amount of work to do that, but you'll be doing that anyway. So if you earn £700 in direct commissions between the 1st of November and 31st of December, the last 2 months of this year, you'll get a place at the seminar for free. And you might as well have it as not, because if there ever was a time where the early bird got the worm, it's in the next 2 months with the courses program. The price, if it goes to what we think it will be, about £1.50 this week, and then that means that you're still getting 500 courses, and the price and the limited supply and the limited market will only take that price one way, which is up. So there's no guarantees in life, there's no guarantees in business, and I have to be responsible as a corporate leader. But we are seeing that the future of causes could be incredibly strong. And one of the places where I want to get to in a year's time is that causes has a value because it's building schools. It's kind of, what's the differentiator between this blockchain and all the other blockchains out there. Well, this blockchain is doing good work. And we'll be able to evidence that, we'll be able to document that, and we'll be able to drive a program around this that will be extraordinary. On the back of that, say that we launch LeoCoin 4 in the beginning of 2020, and we have a LeoCoin 4 thing going through where we take the things that we're learning about a limited supply into the market and then create the same dynamics around LeoCoin, and that will be very, very strong. So your job, your deal in this partnership is to build the community. Your deal in this partnership is to start. There will be markets that have gone a bit dormant, and that's more another thing, and then they'll fall over and they'll collapse, and they'll come back to Leo because Leo is still here, still fighting, still building a genuine bid to grow, and that's what we're doing. So busy and get ready for 2020. Those vision seminars will be very, very strong, and we'll be doing them in Albi and Azerbaijan.
थैंक यू वेरी मच वंस अगेन। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। मैं तमाम लोग जो आज के इस वेबिनार पे मौजूद हैं सबका दिल की गहराइयों से शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ, और इस उम्मीद के साथ कि हम एक नई जिंदगी को, एक नए पैशन